More Americans are looking into reducing their contributions to their workplace 401k accounts. According to a recent Morgan Stanley study, 39% of employees are reducing contributions. This is due to increased financial stress from economic impacts related to inflation and/or concerns about a recession. With more Americans pulling back on retirement saving contributions, local personal finance expert Mike Martinez of M. Martinez and Associates is here to share with us the dangers that come with it.
Welcome back to the Ridgeway Report. My name is A.B. Ridgeway, and today we're talking about 401k contributions, and people are pulling back. But we're going to see why this is a growing concern and what can stop you from reaching for your retirement account before you have to.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Doing well. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. When you talk
Nobody
about
told me good
401k
morning.
contributions, a lot of times there's a match from your company. I've always heard that's free money, right? You don't want to leave that on the table.
That is correct.
That's correct.
So what's happening with folks doing that then?
So, Rob, what we need to explain is some of the people that just graduated, started a new job. My recommendation is to participate and try to max it out. Now, there's some certain tips that I'm going to give you that when I was growing up, what happened. But the reason why you want to do that, if the company matches 4%, let's just say $4, and they're going to match $4, so that's $8. You're getting a 50% increase on your retirement. What scares me is if they don't start participating or saying, I can't afford to do it now, and they get used to not participating or participating less, they're not going to increase it later.
I love that perspective. If not now, when? And that's where we kind of run into trouble because everyone thinks that, well, I have time. And they keep kicking the can down the road. And when they're 40, they're 50, and now they're 5 years before retirement, and they're coming to a financial advisor and says, what can I do? I haven't done anything for the past 20, 30 years. I need you to save me before retirement. And what we are saying, and this financial advisor or this gentleman here is discussing, is like, we need to start a little bit earlier when the stakes are a lot lower. I know we're trying to make it in life. I know we're trying to get our homes and our cars and start our families. But the stakes are very low because we have what they call a long time horizon. If you mess up in your 20s, you know, many of y'all were partying and doing things in your 20s, and then you finally settled down in your 30s, and you finally got your career started in your 40s, and you're up and running. And by your 60th birthday, you had a 20-year career and you retired into the sunset. If you start in your 20s and you fail maybe a year or two, or maybe you don't contribute as much, you still get that practice. And by the time that you are 30, you actually have something to go upon. So now you're not reaching for the internet. You're not reaching for books and articles because you've already made some of those mistakes, and the stakes were a lot lower. Maybe you lost 10% of $1,000, but that's better than having 2 million and losing 10% of $2 million, which is $200,000. You get what I'm saying?
And that's very important to start for your retirement plan, because your retirement plan is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right, so you're worried people get complacent with their typical check, and then therefore they won't ever actually start to contribute.
And that free money you can't go back and get. So you can't say, gosh, if I'd have participated 5 years
Right.
and they would have matched me, I would have had X more money in it. Now, what we did, and I'll never forget, my sisters always called us up on Monday night, Thursday night, and said, hey, we got red beans and rice, meatballs and spaghetti. Won't you stop by and eat? And they knew that we were just starting off, my wife and I, and it's hard to save, and they would help out. Family can kick in on this, and that'll save you money from going out to eat or having to buy groceries and so on. And I understand we talked about your situation, that it was really tough for you to save, but it's very important because when you get ready to retire and it's a marathon and you see that finish line and it's about 2 miles away, what's going to push that thing back 2 more miles, 3 more miles, which is 2 more years, 3 more years? If you never planned and you never saved enough and you don't have enough, then you have to extend your work life and work longer because you lacked in the very beginning.
This has been one of my issues online where people are saying, well, I don't want to have kids because kids are not going to guarantee they're going to take care of you in retirement. Or I'm not getting married because I don't want to have kids and kids are too expensive. Family is the foundation to a healthy, wealthy life. There are non-monetary benefits of actually having a family. You know, I have a family of 6, so people cook and clean. So if you have 6 people trying to clean a house, it's a lot better than 1 person trying to clean a house. And I know what you're thinking. Well, if you have 6 mouths to feed, it's actually more expensive than if you have 1. Yes, but what happens is when you buy in bulk, think about Costco. When you're buying in bulk, it's actually cheaper. When you have a large family, guess what? Clothes get passed on to different children. You don't necessarily have to buy the same clothes over and over and over again. All those things are going to play a vital role into the wealth that you actually keep into your household. Also, as the man said, when you have family, you have places to go eat. You don't have to go spend your money at a restaurant and pay 2 and 3 times what the food is actually worth. You can actually cook at home and you can actually have leftovers. All those pennies and all those strategies are going to add up so you can actually have more wealth and non-monetary benefits.
Not only talking about, you don't want to leave that free money on the table that the company's offering, but that money compounds, over years.
Oh.
So even though you might have just been putting $4 extra in every month or whatnot,
Correct.
Over time, that $4 extra might lead up to what, 400,000 extra bucks.
Correct. And I'll give you another great example, right? It wasn't too long ago that there was a certain politician that said he put a ticker on his phone and Tesla stock was way down around the 220. Well, where is it today? Over 300. That's over 30% return. Hindsight's 2020. Most people are saying, gosh, if I would have known, I would have invested in that stock 2 or 3 months ago, because look how much it's up. So you miss out on opportunity by not participating. I know it's tough, but you got to do everything you can to do without that paycheck and put a little bit in and just keep building it, keep building it, keep building
Amen.
it.
And the reality that you're talking about too with those dinners, it seems like that, when you look at the amount that you would contribute versus not contributing, having that, maybe someone who's willing to feed you dinner 1 or 2 nights in a month, that's going to help offset that cost.
Listen, I had a client just came into my office last week and he was telling me about his son. He has his own apartment, he's got a great job, works for the government, and he still lives at home because he likes being there. Well, of course, he's got free food and he's got laundry and everything else.
Right.
Mom takes care of him. So take advantage of family. I know growing up, my sisters helped us out and we were very close. And I know a lot of families, had Sunday dinners and all. All of that savings helps you put money aside. And I know it's tough for the people that don't have family here. Like my daughter works in Minneapolis and has no family over there, and it's tough on her own. But just put a plan down. Get with someone, get with an expert that can help you, and start off small, but keep going, but don't do nothing.
This is actually a really great video. And one thing I do want to point out is that, yes, you may be saving money by going to a family member's house and saving that meal, but that doesn't mean that you get that money and spend it somewhere else. So that client or the person that he knows that's living with his parents, he needs to be saving the mortgage that he would be paying or the rent that he would be paying at an apartment and putting that into a savings account or contributing into his 401k account. So when he is finally ready to move out, he has a nest egg, maybe he has a down payment for a home, and that is going to save money, because every dollar that you put down for a home is another dollar you don't have to pay in interest to a bank. And that was my craziest thing. Credit cards are really great, but there was a time that you had to ask family members for money and for loans and things of that nature because banks weren't giving out money like that. So the credit card should be used the same way. If you are afraid to ask your parents or to overextend your welcome or overextend how much money you're asking, you should do the same with your credit card. Say, listen, I need to pay this person back. I need to pay back my credit card. No, I don't need to keep asking for money. This is just for emergencies. This just in case the money is too tight for my paycheck. And a lot of people will say, well, every check is hard on my paycheck. Yeah, live in the life that you live. But there's always a way you can cut costs and lower your quality of life to expand your savings rate. The thing you need to understand is sustainability. It's not about living the best life you can all day, every day. It's what life can you sustain. So if you are constantly living paycheck to paycheck, you cannot sustain that lifestyle because there is going to be elements. There's going to be conditions outside of your control that can affect that lifestyle. It could be a loss of a job. It could be the loss of a family member, maybe somebody who's contributing to the household. It could be the birth of a child. All those things can affect what type of life you are going to live. So either you live the life that you need to by volition, or you're going to have to live the life that is given to you by circumstances. And as a financial advisor, we create plans so you don't have to live by circumstances. You could take control of your assets. You could take control of your life and live the life that you want, knowing that you have the financial freedom and also the financial capacity to withstand some of the market fluctuations and things that may occur in your life. If this is happening to you, if you see yourself pulling back on your 401k or don't know how to contribute, make sure you schedule a retirement planning consultation call with me. The link is going to be in the comments below. And is this happening to you? Do you feel like you're always dipping into your 401k? Or do you feel that, you know what, I haven't contributed to my 401k, I just don't know how to? Well, we can talk about that in the comments. You can reach out to me and we'll answer some of those questions. Well, that's it for me. My name is AB Ridgeway, and this is another Ridgeway Report.